JamieStarr, New World News Network here. Tonight we are going to talk about the queen of the coons, Beyonce, the Queen Bey. And I've done other videos about her. I've had the Beehive come after me, like the post-Super Bowl stuff, her trying to take the sharp political move or whatever it is. And I've, shown to people how Lemonade and her last album, the self-titled album, I think, together didn't sell as much as Sasha Fierce, which I consider to be her last good album. The other ones have alright songs. It's no Sasha Fierce. And I liked Sasha Fierce because, it was the one disc had a lot of kind of like space rock type stuff. Like there was that one Satellite song, Halo was the single that was sort of in that direction. And there were a handful of other ones. Even If I Was a Boy was more of a rock, infused track. So I really liked that album. It wasn't all this sort of, yeah, I think I'm horny with that Illuminati mess in my Versace dress. None of that. I mean, even I think the Telephone might have been on that album, or Video Phone. Like, those songs were garbage. Diva was alright. And that's the thing, like, people can handle if Beyonce does that for a track or two, but Beyonce's older now, so people want her music to mature. We just don't want to be hearing Bootylicious for 12 tracks in a row and then be done with it. We want something of substance. Artists grow with us, so we expect that, and we will see how Beyonce is being sort of, I think it's funny, too. I always refer to Rihanna as the Black Britney Spears because I see the way they've handled their careers, who writes the songs, who's, choosing what. And I think she is. Beyonce is lined up to be the next Madonna, or the Black Madonna, or however you want to put it. And we can tell that because she is putting herself forward as the Madonna, the real Madonna, not Madonna. So, here we see this article was originally published from The Conversation. It's funny, Democrats always talking about The Conversation. Well, it turns out there's a website, The Conversation. And this is, people seeing things where they want to see it, viewing the world through a Marxist reality. People are making journalism careers, basically deciphering things. And besides Katie Edwards, that sounds like a pretty white name. I'm not sure, but sounds like it. Katie Edwards could just be the one who reposted from The Conversation. Anyway, but just seeing it where Beyonce puts out a picture and it's a message about racism. Why? Says who? Why? I mean, it's just it's so overboard, and now it's tied into everything. Like it's like a black person can't do anything without it being a race message or challenging race. Like, a black man took a dump in a fucking McDonald's toilet. Oh, that's challenging the racist white supremacy, because back in the day there used to be black only bathrooms. So when he walks into that one McDonald's stall and takes a dump, he's challenging racism. Like, do you see how you can just, this is what they're doing. It's garbage. I mean, if people want to have conversations about it, have a conversation about it. You could at least say, this is my interpretation of race relations through this photo of Beyonce. At least say what you're doing, but to try to put this forth as journalism, and not that it's your personal opinion, but rather this is what it is. So, on the first day of U.S. Black History Month, Beyonce revealed her second pregnancy in a series of striking and beautiful images reappropriating, because I guess black people were the original Catholics, and Mary was originally black, and, like, Jews are black now, I guess. Well, maybe, who knows? Like, I don't need reappropriating. No, this is appropriation. But you see, because of the political correctness, she can't just come out and say she's appropriating, because black people can't appropriate. That's part of the rules. That's part of the rules. I was told this explicitly by a black person. That Beyonce can appropriate Indian garb and dance and everything, and that's fine. But if Katy Perry dresses like an Egyptian, well, we got problems, because when we was kings, we were wearing it. And if a black person wore it, you can never wear it again, because then it becomes a symbol of blackness, I guess. I mean, next thing I know, we're going to be told we can't wear Adidas because we're appropriating Run DMC's style, and now he is the only one that can wear Adidas, and Adidas must now go out of business because everyone else, like, do you see how this is? That's if you follow the mindset of this, you know, the dreads. Okay, people can't have dreads then. We've limited, only these people can have dreads, and half of them probably don't want them. You're killing culture. You are killing growth. You are killing the idea of anything merging and spreading or being infused with something, any sort of evolution or growth. You are stifling it with these ideas of appropriating, reappropriating. The bitch dressed up like Mary. Just say it. Like, you don't have to ease it in there so eloquently. Reappropriating classic and religious iconography, the central image posted on her Instagram account. This is the other thing that bothers me. That you can, Beyonce tweeted something, alright, that'll be a page. Like, I mean, I wonder if newsrooms are like this. If they're just like, yo, yeah, we don't, alright, go to Twitter, we got the list. Beyonce tweet anything today? What about Jay-Z? No, go with Trump. Like, it's fucking awful. Depicted the artist, an activist. She isn't an activist. She's an ass. That's all she is. She's a puppet. In the style of the Virgin Mary, wearing a veil surrounded by a halo of flowers, the announcement and accompanying image became quickly the most liked post on Instagram, and numerous press articles appeared, including this one, attempting to decode the symbolism of Beyonce's visual essay. And you know what's funny? When people do this online and they're like, yo, I'm seeing all this. I'm seeing all this shit all over the place. I'm seeing a lot of this. You know, I think there's something to it. Conspiracy theory. I'm seeing a message about racism in modern America through the appropriation of imagery and iconography of Beyonce's photo. News article. Like, these, like, both sides are doing the same thing, but one gets handled one way and the other's, you know. Another funny thing is, I had a good friend of mine who told me Beyonce didn't carry Blue Ivy. She told me that as a black woman, she knows the changes that happen to a black woman's body when they get pregnant, and she did not carry Blue Ivy. But it looks like she's actually pregnant this time, unless if this is all just very elaborate, but who knows? If she is pregnant, congratulations to her. While The Guardian and Vox picked up on the Virgin Mary imagery and its associations with authority and virtue, the New York Post went the furthest, dedicating its front page to the Immaculate Conception. I mean, front page news. Beyonce's pregnant. Like, this is crazy. Looking like the fucking Virgin Mary. I mean, and, you know, there is, like, at this point, people I looked up to, like Eminem and Marilyn Manson, are now in the same rebellious basket as Meryl Streep. So, now when I see people sort of doing the whole religious symbol thing, you know, because Manson did a lot of it, Eminem, they were both very brash and, you know, doing whatever, ripping pages out the Bible. That now when I see anyone sort of going in that, well, I'm going to make fun of religion bit, it's just sort of like, you're sort of corny. It's sort of played out. Like, I mean, like Madonna with the Nazi stuff. Oh, you're just doing it for attention. It's very, like, that's the thing. You know, Beyonce really could have done anything to announce she was pregnant, and it would have been a huge news story. This is going to to the next level, where it's like, you're trying to capitalize on this. Like, you're going above and beyond. The Virgin Mary is traditionally represented in art as a white woman. Often her complexion takes the palest possible hue, apparently conning holiness and innocence. Cultural critic Richard Dreier showed that in Western representation, whites are overwhelmingly and disproportionately predominant and have the central and elaborate roles, and above all are placed as the norm, the ordinary, the standard. Whites are everywhere in representation. You want to know why that is? I mean, this is like, here's the other thing. It's a problem that this can even be said in this sort of regard. Because the thing is this is always being put forth as if that's a problem. Like, let me try something. In Asian representation, Chinese are overwhelmingly and disproportionately predominant, have the central and elaborated roles, and above all are placed as the norm, the ordinary, the standard. Chinese are everywhere in representation. Asians then occupies a position of cultural hegemony as normal and neutral, and religious iconography that quite literally represents Asians as divine is a means of reproducing Asian power and superiority. So whatever there is, I mean, first of all, there's just put forth this idea that whatever there is the most of will automatically be a problem because then it will be normal. You know, I mean, this is an argument for having no society whatsoever, because by the rules they put forth, by the time anything becomes the in, the it, the most, the majority, it's then problematic for everyone, so it must be abandoned. Something else steps forth. Same issues. This is Marxism. I just swapped out this for Asian. You're saying, I mean, it's like a duh statement. In a white country, white people will be white. Voila. I mean, it almost makes you wonder, what if you're saying this is normal and this is problematic because there's in white people, I mean, do they say this about like other religions? Let's see. In Muslim representation, or in in Islamic representation, Muslims are overwhelmingly and disproportionately predominant, have the central and elaborated roles, and above all are placed as the norm, the ordinary, the standard. Muslims are everywhere in representation. Islam then occupies a position of cultural hegemony as normal and neutral, and religious iconography that quite literally represents Islam as divine is a means of producing Muslim power and superiority. See? It just sort of fits with whatever you put in there, because you're saying whatever there's the most of, problem for everyone because it's the most, and then it's normal, and neutral. You go from neutral to then being like, but then it's also divine, and then it's producing power and superiority to who? How? In your head? Is that is this all the people? I almost wonder if this is what's happened. You have the Facebook generation that doesn't know how to fucking deal because they've become addicted to being asked what's on their mind. So they just go around, and because they've been seeing what's on everyone's minds, they think they can just comfortably spout off this shit because they see the world as, if they're in a white country, and then there's a white Jesus, and Jesus is holy, so then the homeless guy down the street scratching his ass, he must be holy because he's got power to do what? Who knows? None of it makes any sense. I'm really losing my patience for this shit, especially in this Beyonce regard, because there's so many layers to it. I mean, once we crack into the Grammys, I used to believe black entitlement was a negative stereotype. And now you just see it. You just see it all the time. I mean, you could pull up some feminist article where she's like, I want this, I want Beyonce tickets, I want run it, run it, run it. Or you have some shit where it's like, oh, there's an award show, black person didn't win, so we're calling white supremacy, conspiracy, whatever, like, not having a fucking clue how the awards are picked, because you just see it in the ether of the culture and the society. It's everywhere. That's why you can't see it, because you're surrounded by it. Like, these people don't realize how this all sort of gets, like, super pseudo-religious, and like they're all in a fucking cult. I mean, look at this shit. I don't even know. Like, I almost say, trying to look like the Virgin Mary, it's reaching. Like, I don't see it. But, whatever. Whatever makes her happy, but trying to think, okay, Beyonce's beautiful reappropriation of Virgin Mary iconography offers a biting critique of this supreme exemplar. You know what, let me just throw this in. I saw a black dude online, a friend of mine was posting all these "We Was Kings," memes or whatever, and this guy we know was like, yo, you better stop, you're gonna get your ass beat posting this stuff. And then this black kid chimes in being like, these niggas would have you believing that they were the pharaohs, everyone was a king in Egypt, they never enslaved other black people, but Egypt, we know, was full of black slaves. There were also the Jews. We know Pharaoh enslaved the Jews. These guys are black, these guys are blacks. They'll say blacks never enslaved other blacks, but we know otherwise. Just all these sort of contrary claims to claim they were everyone and they were part of everything. And I really think this shows overall how stagnated our society is. When you're like so caught up on, well, did Lemonade win the Grammy of the Year? Or shit about, you've got privilege. This is how many of this color people get hired for this job, and how many times this person had this person happen to this thing, and there's, and then of course tying everything back to slavery and, cultural appropriation of the music, and don't forget, we invented rock and roll, y'all. Like, is anyone looking forward? I mean, I know Obama campaigned with that slogan, but is anyone really looking forward? Because it seems like there's a lot of arguing about where we're at and the past that can't be changed. And it's just like, let's go forward. I've seen the internet go from a point A to point X in my lifetime, just in 30 years. There's no reason to ever bring up slavery, except if you're wildly entitled, because you have so much opportunity and power in a laptop that you can do anything. There's no reason to even talk about what was going on way back when. The Crusades? Come on. The internet. We're in the future. Like, it needs to be separated. Like, how they have BC and AD? Before internet, after internet. New world. Get with it. Stop the fighting and the fussing over all the shit. Who won what? It's all bullshit. No one even, this, like, celebrity worship and all this disgusting, these vapid, hollow people. Reappropriation of Virgin Mary iconography offers a biting critique of this supreme exemplar of feminine whiteness and the ideology that constructs. I mean, I feel like there's a word bank that they have to try to fit in. Appropriate, construct, spectrum, and perpetuates it at a moment when white supremacy is echoed in the American First slogan. Why, if America is multicultural, we have, so many percent of blacks, so many percent of whoever, whatever. Why would saying America first be viewed as white? Why? I mean, unless if you really have such an issue with this group of people and want them singled out, exiled, if you're looking at things through that sort of way, I could understand you seeing it as that. But if someone says America first, I assume they're talking about America. I don't assume they secretly mean white people of America. I assume they're talking about America. No wild fucking conspiracy shit. I just don't get it. Shit's not working. Simultaneously dislodges white from its central place in religious iconography and Trump from his recent monopoly of press headlines. Here's the other thing that these magical leftist journalists can do. They can just mention Trump in anything. I read an article about a Rihanna and fucking Drake song, and they started ranting about Trump in it. And I'm just like, why? What is this all you think about? This man? Are you that obsessed with him? Did you think about Obama this much? I really wonder. Like, you see a picture of Beyonce with her twins, and you think Trump and white supremacy. These people are obsessed. Sarah Silverman seeing the Nazi shit. Beyonce is no stranger to the appropriation of religious iconography. How is it now reappropriating? You're like changing the tense, but whatever. Appropriation of religious iconography to challenge cultural norms. Cultural critic and theorist Bell Hooks, who's batshit fucking crazy, coined the term oppositional gaze in 1992 to see, name, question, and ultimately transform oppressive racialized images. Who's racializing the images? This is, I refer to this as racial narcissism. And that's what a lot of this is going on. It's projected racial narcissism. See, the only type of person that's comfortable looking you in the eye and saying, I know you're judging me because of my skin color. The only person who's really, comfortable being able to levy a accusation or a baseless accusation of racism at someone is a racist themselves, because they're imagining you must act this way because that's what they're doing. It's normal to them. So if they think they spotted it in you, they'll call you on it. That's what goes on a lot. So you have people that are just obsessed with it, calling everyone else racist, because they think so much of their skin color. I don't even care about it. It's fucking stupid. It's so counterproductive to any and everything. All of the ideas tangled into this. Just treat people nice. Can't it just be left at that? Just treat people nice. Treat people how you want to be treated. Give everyone a chance. Like, I'll tell you what, it almost, like, even the IQ thing, people want to talk about, the bell curves and all of that, and it still is like, okay, so what? There's a couple thousand more genius white people than genius black people. Well, you know what? You can still make it really far in life without being a genius. So that point is null and void. But it really makes me wonder, like, is there something seriously defective with one of the races? Like, why is this handled in such a way, with such hysteria attached to everything, where you can't even have a conversation with someone? I gotta get this video up of me and a friend actually having a conversation of it, and you can see it got heated, but I mean, we're friends, and we have so much respect for each other. We know we're just talking about ideas. On the other end of it, these people are seeing this shit in everything. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how you could live your life like this. I think there's some sort of mental disorder going on here. In 2013, the singer released a video for Mine, in which she also portrayed as the Virgin Mary, this time to recreate Michelangelo's La Pieta, literally surrounded by whiteness to subvert the racist and sexist ideas around the ownership and black women. Did she say that, or was that your idea? I think sometimes they just use white on black people because it's such a color contrast, like how they put black people in dark places. This is, there's no, you can talk about colors without it delving into race in terms of visual aesthetics of a music video, but I'm sure to these people, there's always a deeper meaning, and it's not that deep. So, they go on, and they're talking about, black femininity, her being pregnant. And here's the thing. It's, black, not white. For example, where all women are objectified and hypersexualized in advertising, black women are far more often marked as hypersexualized and subhuman. Or, to take novelist Alice Walker's famous words, where white women are... Here's the other thing. I hate when people do this, where they make a large sweeping claims, where all women are objectified and hypersexualized in advertising. Black women are far more often, and they're even treated as subhuman. And you know how I have to prove it? A quote from somebody. That's because someone else's opinion backs up my reality. There's this weird sort of authority thing going on where it's like, if someone's approved, well then you can just blurt their shit out as if it's the Bible. Where white women are depicted as human bodies, if not beings, black women are depicted as shit. Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. Tyra Banks has made a career off of being depicted as shit. Janet Jackson? Come on. The cultural and they do such a disservice to all of the advances that have been made when they have this sort of view. The cultural residue of the Jezebel stereotype means, therefore, that black women continue to be more vulnerable to sexual assault, and as psychologist Carol M. West explained, black women may receive a double dose of cultural rape myths. Those that target all survivors and those that claim black women especially for deserving the assault. I take it this person did not Google the interracial rape statistics, because if you did, you would be blown away, because it is like thousands of black guys raping white women and about a handful of white guys, literally, I mean, you're talking 10 or under a year. Look up the numbers. Don't believe me. I didn't believe it when I first heard it. Then I looked it up. And it's consistent. It's like year in and year out. And I mean, sorry the stats, I mean, that's far from equal. Sorry the stats are a bit racist. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is. Someone else can figure it out. They can be called the racist for trying to theorize it. I'm just telling you the numbers. In the images accompanying her pregnancy announcement, Beyonce simultaneously confronts and undermines the historical, racial, and sexist stereotypes of the Virgin Mary. Who's being a sexist to the Virgin Mary? What is wrong with you people? And Jezebel, or are these genders? Katie Edwards is the director of SSIBS at the University of Sheffield. Oh my, association between whiteness and purity that remains alive and kicking in Western culture. Bow down to the Queen Bey. I mean, this is ridiculous. This person is like a gender studies major or something who has just found a career in journalism because there was nothing for their fucking Africana studies degree. Like, this is ridiculous. And you don't even, that they can just babble this shit. They need someone. Here's what they need to do. They need to make an AI that can just write these things, where you could just fill in the who, what, where, when, and why, and they know, to use the words, spectrum, problematic, appropriation. What was the other one I had mentioned in here? Superiority, power, like, it's just all these buzzwords over and over. So anyway, then she's pregnant, and then she's at the awards being pregnant. Again, dressed in this sort of religious iconography, and there's already like a cult fucking following her, and it's disgusting, and that's part of the reason why I don't like her, because I think it's so overblown and overrated that I just kind of have to hate it. But of course, this is the same thing. Your mother is a woman, and women like her cannot be contained. And I do think it's good that, they're taking this to kind of like, oh, well, this is a statement on femininity and feminism. And it's good that there's like, oh, feminism, pregnancy. Yes, this is what we've been saying. You've been saying we're sexist, misogynist, but we've been saying we like women making babies. You've always had a problem with it, and then saying we don't like seeing pregnant women, they're not allowed to be seen. I don't know where you ever got that idea. Plenty of women do these sort of glamour pregnant shots. Imagine enemies. Anyway, so then on to the Grammys, where she didn't win Album of the Year, so of course she was snubbed by the supremacy, the, conspiratorial white supremacy, Adele, most transcendent voice pitched somewhere between contra alto and mezzo soprano source to the heavens. Beyonce's Lemonade, an illusion-heavy ode to motherhood and black excellence, an unfiltered critique of America's ubiquitous institutions. Institutions? What are you talking about? On Sunday night, most of Queen Bee's magnum opus to walk away with the Grammys for the Album of the Year. It didn't go down that way. Adele won, and the internet was none too pleased. This, of course, did not have much to do with Adele. She is a lovely woman, wholly deserving of the accolades she receives. She is even gracious in... And here's the crazy thing. They're saying Beyonce lost. This is like the election all over again. It really is. Beyonce lost the Grammy, and it's not that she lost because someone else was better, and they're admitting she was better. But she lost because of, everything else. Because the institutions and the supremacy and the whatever. And I mean, Adele sold more numbers. The Grammys are democratic. People vote. The Recording Academy votes. Blame those people who voted. I mean, you take a bunch of jazz and classical musicians and you ask them to choose between Adele or Beyonce. You really think they're going to choose Beyonce? What's wrong with you? This is the entitlement. You don't know how the Grammys are run. You don't know who votes, obviously. Or you'd say, duh. And not that it's anything against her personally. Her music sucks. Her music isn't that great. Sorry. Lauryn Hill won in 1999. Her album was great. You didn't have this, if I fuck him good, I take him out to Red Lobster. No. There was none of that shit on Lauryn's album. This, of course, did not have much to do with Adele, lovely woman, Holy Moon, effectively pulling a Kanye West on herself by sharing her embarrassment at winning the night's big award over Bey, calling her artist of my life and confessing, the way you make me and my friends feel, the way you make my black friends feel is empowering. As Beyonce wiped the tears from her eyes, you make them stand up for themselves. I love you and I always will. Backstage, Adele was even more candid. The Beehive's legion of online superfans, along with several of her A-list supporters, were inclined to agree. Solange, Beyonce's younger sister and elevator enforcer, tweeted, "What up, Frank?" accompanied by a link to an essay R&B crooner Frank Ocean wrote about why he chose to boycott the Grammys. You know what's not great TV, guys. 1989 getting Album of the Year over to Pimp a Butterfly. Hands down, one of the most faulty TV moments I've seen, Ocean wrote to the Grammy producers, referencing Taylor Swift's defeat of Kendrick Lamar. Do you want to guess what, I mean, let's just guess the album sale difference. I'm sure Taylor Swift's album sales were 10 times Kendrick Lamar's. Sorry. That's all there is to it. I mean, if you're up for a discussion about the cultural bias and general nerve damage that you show producers suffer from, then I'm all for it. And here's the other thing. This guy is trying to blame the producers of the show for who wins the Grammys when they are voted on, and I assume Frank Ocean is in the Academy and votes. I mean, I'm referencing the album sales, but the album sales don't even have anything to do with it besides just being an added, well, these are the albums that are selling more people do like them, so more people would probably like them within the voting pool. Terrence Punch Henderson, co-president of the record label Top Dog Entertainment, claimed he'd spoken with his artist Kendrick Lamar, who apparently voiced his displeasure at Beyonce's Album of the Year snub. See, it's not just a loss, it's a snub. The cultural bias Ocean reference is not a myth. As a colleague, Kevin Fallon, pointed out, the Grammys have a race problem. Taylor Swift and Adele each have 2 Album of the Years. Beyonce, Kanye West, Sam Cooke, Nina Simone, Jimi Hendrix, Tupac, Jay-Z. Only 10 black artists have ever won Grammy of the Year. And in recent years, black artists have been on the receiving end of some head-scratching defeats. They can't understand. They don't get it. And I mean, this is entitlement. We're black, we should win. Album of the Year, all the time. Nothing matters. The vote doesn't matter how the things, because if anything happens, we're just gonna call cultural bias. I mean, they want to turn the Grammys into the BET Awards, basically, or they're just going to protest. And I say, go, leave. We'll stop buying. I don't buy shit from any of you. Fuck you. I download everything illegally. Go fuck yourselves. The last 4 years have seen Taylor Swift's 1989 over Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, Beck's Morning Phase beating Beyonce, Daft Punk's beating Kendrick Lamar, Mumford & Sons beating Frank Ocean. I mean, those are all easily explainable. Good compared to crap. Good compared to alright. Crap compared to garbage. And I would actually say personally, I think Mumford & Sons, I like Frank Ocean more than Mumford & Sons because I don't like that hillbilly bullshit. But, sorry. Other puzzling choices include Taylor Swift's Fearless over Beyonce's I Am Sasha Fierce. Still makes sense. U2's dreadful How to Dismantle the Atomic Bomb over Kanye West. Again, look at who's voting. Mariah Carey's The Emancipation of Mimi. And the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack over Outkast's Stankonia. Mariah Carey. Kendrick Lamar lost best rap album of the year and best new artist to Macklemore. See, and this is the thing where they're just claiming, well, Macklemore won. Again, look who's selling. Look who has a better message. Look, I mean, what are they talking about? What's the content? The fact that they're just like, and here's the other thing, is it's not just normal black artists, because they're not talking about Joy Viella and her wearing the Trump dress and, you know, getting all the publicity and #1 getting album of the year, because it goes against their whole sort of idea that we just saw a mixed woman in a Trump, you know, outfit and bought her album and everything. The ones they keep pointing to are all the artists who are on this sort of Black Lives Matter kick, you know, with Kendrick Lamar, How to Pimp a Butterfly, or, you know, who Frank Ocean's just trying to ride the wave, Beyonce doing her whole thing. Who's the other one now? Why do I feel like I'm forgetting someone? Kendrick Lamar, Beyonce, I don't know. but either way, you know, it's those two where it's like, oh, but the message, it should win because of the message. The message is about racism, so if it doesn't win, it's because of the racism. Like, it's already in such a paranoid state where the people who love these albums are so psychotic in the fucking first place that, of course, if that album doesn't get shown to be the light in the dark and the divinity shining through, saving the black youth of America, then it has to be part of the conspiracy. That's the only reasonable answer, because to these people, it's the Holy Grail. So more artists are going to boycott the Grammys. Good. We don't like, I mean, I wish Beyonce didn't show up. It's Lauryn Hill. You know, I'm just going to let Ben Shapiro explain the rest of this, because he does a lovely job at it.
On Sunday, a great crime against humanity occurred with the entire world watching. Adele won the top Grammy, leaving Beyonce, the greatest human being who has ever graced our planet, out in the cold again. Why? Why, God? Why? Racism! Never mind that Adele's 25 was the top-selling album of the year, while Beyonce's Lemonade showed up at number 4. Adele had to apologize to Beyonce for winning the album of the year, and then she split her Grammy in half and said, quote, "I can't possibly accept this award. The Lemonade album was just so monumental." Yes, Lemonade is groundbreaking, Beethoven-esque, a work of heartbreaking genius with which only heaven or heaven's angel could have seen fit to grace us. Who else but Queen Bee could have given us these immortal lines? Y'all haters corny with that Illuminati mess. Paparazzi, catch my fly, and my cocky fresh. The echoes of Shakespeare ring in every romantic lyric. So, why wouldn't artists of color naturally assume that Adele's victory at the Grammys represents a new form of Jim Crow? Here's the New York Times, quote, "Before the 59th annual Grammy Awards on Sunday, the music industry murmured about what it might mean for Adele to once again sweep the top awards, leaving Beyonce snubbed in the major categories and with her third loss for Album of the Year. Having long faced accusations that the Grammys overlook young, progressive black artists. The last woman to win Album of the Year was Lauryn Hill in 1999. The Recording Academy faced a potential backlash for going all in on a white, traditionalist choice like Adele. In the last 5 years especially, albums by Frank Ocean, Mr. Lamar, and Beyonce have been passed over for the top award in favor of releases by white artists, Mumford & Sons, Daft Punk, Beck, Taylor Swift, and Adele. So, now the Grammys are just another repository of white racism. But it's not enough that everyone in the music industry must pay tribute to Beyonce. It's not enough for the top-selling artist on the planet to bow before Beyonce, as required under international law. No, the Grammys must be boycotted until they recognize that incredibly rich, incredibly beautiful, world-famous black people have to win awards. Otherwise, they are just Bull Connor. Does anyone wonder why our culture is falling apart, why the social fabric is fraying? We can't even listen to music or watch a silly music awards show without being hit with Colin Kaepernick lectures on the legacies of slavery, even while the whole world falls prostrate before the glories of juju, celebrating ancient fertility rituals reenacted on stage as New Testament living tableaus. Yes, Hollywood clearly has a problem, but it isn't racism, it's race-based stupidity. I'm Ben Shapiro, this is The Ben Shapiro Show.
And that is the best way to sum that up. And with that, I think I'm finished. Have a good night, everyone.